Hello, 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 hello. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my channel, right? So ultimately, right? Happy Pride Month, Happy Pride Month, Happy June. Uh, Happy we almost finished with the year. Happy 6-6 portal, right? Yeah, just hopefully a happy Friday part two, right? Ultimately, right? I don't know why I feel. Yeah, I was calling. I'm calling to say he's ABC or XYZ. I don't know what that is, but yeah, ultimately, I had a good trip, right? Atlanta definitely did restore my perspective. One of the things it was right that came into place was who was it? And this person, like, he touched my heart. He did. He touched my heart with what it was he did. His name was D, right? And he had showed up to the bus station, right? And he had asked me, he was like, when you going home? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, how much you got? How much is your ticket? I'm like, 150. He was like, how much you got? I was like, nothing. Right? And I just sat there and, I continued doing what I typically do. Uh, it, in certain spaces, I could tell like hot spots and things of that nature in them. And I typically will play music no matter where I am or wherever I go. So if I'm just in one space in particular, yeah, that's where I'm playing all the music and stuff like that. The healing. So in any event, um, the healing frequencies ultimately. But the guy D, right? When the people who were looking for me basically showed up, right? I noticed that that was them, but I was like, nah, I don't want to be overzealous and egotistical and assuming. So, I'll wait until the universe tell me just flat out, hey, this is this and this and this. And I was okay, cool. And as soon as I thought that, that's when the little guy he came over and he said, he was like, they here to help you. They here to help you. He was in his childlike self, right? And I appreciated that like so much because a lot of times when we're out and about and amongst people, right? Her tell everything that was going on. Well, it was a lot of stuff that was going on. It was one lady who had said that she was being uh SEGGS trafficked, and then it was when she first told me, I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'm thinking, okay, what can I do to help to fix it? And by middle of the story, with me just listening to her, she said that the police had gotten her a bus ticket so that she could leave. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I hope everything's okay. Hope she's all right. Well, what ends up happening outside of that though, right? She, that was the first day I was there. And I spoke to a few different people, and they allowed me to be a part of their conversations. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff. We was talking about realistically what assistance looks like and the difficulties that come into place between being a single female versus one that has children, the biases that will come into place with it. We also talked about yeah, we talked about a little. We hinted on Willie Lynch syndrome a little bit. We also, I talked to a few people about. Yeah, we was all in groups. I talked to them about that. What else? I talked to people about a few different people about just personal situations. I did get the opportunity to see what karma, instant karma, looked like. It was one woman who I was doing a reading for, and she had stated that she would give me a bag of chips and soda. Well, her parent came in or called right when I was finished with the reading, and she all of a sudden she, decided, okay, I can't do it. And it was when I was like, okay, well, don't worry about it. I carried her bags for her. Right after I came back in, her, yeah, her ride to her next place had been canceled. Her ticket had been changed. It was like all stuff, and it was one of those. Okay, so that's what it looks like when it happens. Got it. No problem. So outside of it though, um, that was on the second day I was there. It was so many different instances. I did enjoy uh being able to finally debrief a person about everything it is that I saw face to face. I liked that a whole lot. I did enjoy that. Yeah, because it took the weight off of me having to write a letter and then sending it somewhere. So that was really good. I basically just let them know, that there wasn't any notable. It's like nobody knew anything there. And I can understand why it is that that will happen because there's so much stuff that's going on on a social media aspect that people forget or believe that everybody is supposed to be in that quote unquote digital age. And it's one of those with all of the different little signs and stuff that was around. I was looking at them. I was like, yeah, because they have well, I guess it's a citywide Wi-Fi thing. But the problem that comes into place with it is its name. Its name is Ike. So that in itself is just triggering as hell. I heard, is that a reason why you would spaz out too? Yeah, it would be. Because I could pick up on all that stuff and it made sense as to why I was the first time I went and the second time I went why I was thinking about Tina Turner a lot. Right? But not Tina Turner, the woman Lorraine that he was with and he had kids with and all this other stuff. So I was thinking, yeah, that particular scene when she trades the kids off and stuff, she don't tell Tina anything. Now, I've been in a situation that's similar, but I did debrief Heather on everything it was going on. She ain't have to look for nothing. She is a little lying ass sneaky mother. I'm not going there. In any event, yeah, she lied. So it was one of those ended up that was one of the things that triggered me or not trigger me, but the information that was flowing through there, I was picking up on that. I was picking up on everything, y'all. I always pick up on everything, though. That be kind of the reason why I don't want to really, yeah, because I know I'm not only with me being a conduit and a vessel, right, but to and for those individuals who are empaths and they're already overloaded, I can handle mine, but they may not know how to handle it, right? In that essence exchange with hugging and touching and stuff. And I don't know. Yeah, sometimes I know how they stuff works. Sometimes I don't. But in any event, I ended up talking to Mr. Lamar Perry. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. Um, because that was a restoring of faith in humanity. It wasn't just it wasn't just the whole city situation. It gave me enough strength and encouragement to be like, you know what, it is okay. You got this. God got you. Keep going. Right. Just keep going. It's one of those when it comes when your faith is anchored from 5D down to 3D, and you just bypass 4D altogether, in a lot of respects. However, I did notice when I posted that my numbers went up again. Like I'll be honest with y'all, I am kind of used to like my on my Instagram it being like 30,000, 50,000 views on it. And it had been down to like 500 and I was like, "Oh shit, that's cool. I ain't even worried." Yeah, I don't really trip off of how many views my page get or anything because I know at the time that all that was happening there was a lot of bullshit spittle that was happening. I heard you could cuss if you have to. Yeah, it was a whole bunch of bullshit that was happening. Whole bunch and it was very annoying. And but yeah, and I could feel everything that was going on. And I'm the type of person where I'm really connected to my tangible belongings, right? They all have sentimental value for me. So bringing everything it is that was that, yeah, for me to settle there, it it would have been one of those. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna need a little bit more than just Yeah, because you got to pay $20 per bag on the Greyhound, and I would need to have a ride and all that other stuff. No, I was enchanted. I will say that I was enchanted because it was the acceptability of, it's one of those, do you have to leave right now? It's one of those, I would need a place to stay. There's no place for me to take a shower. There's no place for me to get no food. The one thing that I saw was like a Schmong's Burgers. It's supposed to be, I was thinking it was supposed to be a smorgasbord. That's what the word was supposed to be. Or it's the word for smorgasbord in German. I think that's the word. But there's no time, there's no date. Yeah, it was none of that stuff like in the 3D physical. And so it was just one of those, oh my goodness, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell? But I did get to walk around a little bit more. And I am one of those type of people where if I don't have a space, a shelter that's comfortable for me to go to and, keep my things, yeah, I'm more likely to be flipping out and I cannot get settled. Cause yeah, then I gotta ensure my safety, right? And within me ensuring my safety, it don't take me very long to ground myself from the traveling experience, but ensuring my safety and things of that nature, that usually takes a little bit longer because especially when you don't know a person that would be immediately in that space. Heard you do know somebody, you know me. I know you. I understand that. But you were busy, you were at work, and I had to work. Oh, I just heard, I don't care. I don't care. Anyway, um, I love you too. um, but yeah, so ultimately, um, I'm hearing something about somebody having a bitch fit. I was having one too. I did. I had one too. I will not lie. And I did. I snapped a little bit because everything it was that I was feeling, it was coming from like the whole trip there, right? It was good. Yeah, it was a whole lot better than it was last time. And but when I actually got there, it was like I felt all of the sadness, all of the despair, all of the hopelessness. When I was walking, y'all, it was very unfortunate. I'm glad I had my sage with me, but when I was walking, I saw a few people just laid out on the ground, and I realistically was not comfortable with assisting them because I'm not licensed in Georgia. That's the reason why I wasn't, really running around and helping in that regard because I'm not licensed in Georgia. And true enough, I am licensed in Missouri, but if anything was to happen to that person and they aren't able to give me the verbal okay to assist them, I will be held responsible for their life. And I told y'all I don't like jail food. I don't like jail food at all. So, but when I was walking past with the well, I had Dragon's Blood this time. Um, but when I was walking past and saging, as I went, I noticed that she started moving and everything. A few of them actually started moving as I walked past with the sage stick. So it was that portion. Yeah, but it's like it was like a barren wasteland. And true enough, money may be floating through there a whole lot, but it's only so much, so far that money can go, right? And it was, I said, thank you, you're welcome. So I mean, money is good and all, but you need food and water, right? Food, water, and shelter. And with me not seeing any actual women's shelters, it was like, okay, so y'all just realistically left all of the women out in the cold, is what that was given. I didn't really like that I seen it, like to no capacity, or that even in retrospect, with the thought that I would have been a part of Black Men Build, and they would have been taking any directives from me, and they wouldn't have assisted any of the women. It showed that they weren't men. at all. There was no manhood associated with it because men's basic instinct is to provide and protect, right? And the profession is one of those, you're a woman of our community, of our ethnicity, right? So we definitely have to make sure you're taken care of. It's a profession, and professing is not about the whole, yeah, you ain't, it ain't gotta be about you sticking your dick in that person. It is about the acknowledgement of their position. So it was that portion that came into place with it, and that's why again I was glad that I was able to speak to someone face to face, right? Um, so it was that. Yeah, no, cause before they had came on the scene, I heard, take a picture. It was one of those. It's like, no, I'm not taking no pictures. I'm not taking no pictures right now because people need to see me face to face and get the experience of me face to face. To know, yeah, this is a real person. They're a real tangible person. They are not artificial intelligence. They are not just somebody who playing games with the spirit or none of that stuff. Yeah, official. Yeah, I'm official, so to speak. Speaking of, yeah, I just got back from hunting, as I call it, in the concrete jungle with my oldest daughter. Right. I love my son just as much as my daughter. Right. And one of the old older adages that comes into place is how mothers love their sons but raise their daughters. And it's one of those, nah, I raised my son and I raised my daughters. So that don't apply to everyone, right? Yeah, and I love my son and I love my daughters, and sure they all get the full experience of what they need from me, and as when they need it, especially, right? And oh, I'm here. What you doing? Where you going next? Okay, so I know where I'm supposed to go next. If you know, you know. I'm gonna let Mahis know what's going on. Uh, by the way, I would like to give a shout out to my spirit team. Thank you, spirit team. Thank you, ancestors, God and Goddess. Yeah, because this person is a whole lot better to work with than the last person I was dealing with. Yeah, and I appreciate that. Like people don't understand it's always a little bit of lag time that comes from when you leave in, a negative situation, whether it be your mindset or it be, an experience that you're having with a person, and you shifting over to that higher vibration and good experience, right? With an individual. Her being in love. Okay, yeah, being in love. But it's not only about being in love, it's about what that means, right? And how, yeah, you still have to maintain autonomy even within the confines and comforts of romantic relationship. I do also want to say my the chamber of my heart that holds romance, that part is still, is it in Atlanta? He probably traveling right now. I don't know. Yeah, cause he procrastinate all the time. He do everything at the last minute. He do. You can't fault him for it. It's just natural. Yeah, he see it that he. Yeah, he the type of person that'll eat the elephant all at once, opposed to one bite at a time. So I hope he okay. I hope he made sure he ate too. Uh, I did, and you right. Yeah, so just being mindful of that. But I'm trying to think, yeah, yeah, cause I did. I was very proud of myself when I did touchdown back in St. Louis. I had a proverbial graduation party, right? Because that was the first time, realistically, that I had really been allotted to show who I am and what light work and light work is and what light work and light work does. That was my first time being able to anchor it in another space. I had been doing it all around Missouri and in St. Louis, period. But for me to be able to do it in another space and them to be great, show gratitude for it, right? Yeah, that just made my little heart open all the way up even more, right? And so, and so, um, yeah, it made me really, really grateful, right? That, I could be accepted in varying spaces. And it's not even necessarily that it increased my workload, it just gave me more to, um, or delegated, we gonna help you. Okay, I know. I'm already knowing. I'm already knowing. But still, ultimately, basically, what it all boils down to that I noticed, yeah, working in a team. I don't know how. Okay, so here's the deal that comes into place. But I'll tell you what I do, and then if you need multiple people to do it, then so be it. Typically, when I get to the space, right, I look for um first and foremost, I don't even pay attention to what the quote unquote vibe of it is. Ain't no point if you about to change the vibe. Ain't no point in even trying to figure out what the hell it is. Um, what the baseline of it is, right? But so ultimately, I would look for what would constitute as the sweet spot, right? And then in that space, that's when I start playing the music, right? Um, from there, it will be that when I have my sage, right? White sage really does best for when you just lifting stuff off and getting shit out in the atmosphere, right? Part of the reason why it's really important and imperative, and is because of chemical trails. Put a pin in it. I'm not even gonna lie. I felt some type of way because Atlanta, New Orleans, they're definitely known for the spiritual aspect and for the all right, go ahead and talk about it. Okay. And for there to be so much density and sadness, I felt some type of way because it was in those spaces that I realistically expected for there just as much dark shit it was that would be happening. I expected for it to be just as much light things to happen. So it was that. The other portion of it, right? Yeah, and sure, it's like okay, you mean to tell me you can do a glamour spell, but you can't clear out your city. You big and bold enough and bad enough to do something to a person that's never done anything to you, but you can't fight oppression or you don't want to fight. You too scary for to fight the oppressors, but you're not too scary to go up against a person that you know if you do something to you'll get fucked up with. Make that make sense? It doesn't. Again, common sense. It's a spiritual gift at this point. Common sense is a spiritual gift. So I felt some type of way about that, and I was like, I'm so very disappointed in them. It's like, oh my goodness, all you talented women and men, y'all can make all this other shit happen, but you mean to tell me you don't pay attention to the effects that the chemical trails that would be going on in the sky would have not only on even if you're a chaos practitioner, you get what I'm saying? You won't pay attention to those types of things, but you think that somebody is supposed to be scared of you. That just don't make no sense to me, like at all. Period. It's a bunch of bullshit, if you ask me. Um, so it's that part. The other thing of it was, oh, and I got the opportunity to talk about it a few different times. See how people felt about Pope Leo issuing an apology for slavery. I got a lot of people who were surprised and happy, and I was like, you can go look it up for yourself. I seen it too. Like I said, that was something that was definitely needed, and if nobody else say they appreciate it, I appreciate it, Rob. I appreciate you, Rob. So is that. Outside of that though, who else and what else? Yeah, I was really tired though. And I saw, I guess you could say, what the shift and change would be for the overnight aspect of it. Because it was a gentleman, and my spidey senses was going off that he needed help and whatnot. So I did walk around the city at night with him, and I let him utilize my Grinch blanket, right? Yeah, because in short, it's realistically everybody. It's a certain amount of dignity, regardless of whether a person is housed or not, that they are entitled to. That's not egotism. That's something, that's a human right that was denied by us, and it was created. I want to say it was by Teddy Roosevelt who initiated it, and then the plans for it being implemented in America got sold to, I want to say it was Germany. Other than that, though, I did get to speak to a whole bunch of people. I did not really enjoy the conversations. Okay, so I do like being down south. I do like the south. I don't know, or not. It's not even necessarily I don't know what it is. It's so many things that I enjoy about being in the south, right? But on that same token, it's a matter of, it's unfortunate the amount of division within there being so much diversity, right? So there's that portion. Um, the other part of it was, yeah, because I noticed that a few of the people who worked there, right? I don't know what the fuck happened, y'all. I'm gonna be so real. I don't know exactly. All I know what it was that took place. All I know is I went. Okay, yeah, I got there. I did a little bit of the reading. It cut off. Now here's the deal that came into place with that reading cut off. It cut off right when I heard somebody say you disobeying orders. I was like, who the fuck is telling me when I'm working and I got shit that I got to do that I'm disobeying? Any bitch, who you talking to? You done lost your mind. You done forgot your position. You done forgot your motherfucking position. You don't know who you talking to. I don't know what to. Oh no, I don't know exactly who it was that said it, because I noticed that the same thing that happened with fucktard, it was a possibility that it could happen now if they know who the person is. All of the people who could either mimic their voice or try to walk in their essence to come towards me, right? Okay, that was an upset for some people. Yeah, for them to do that, it's one of those. Yeah, nah, I didn't set up enough shit. So it's one of those. I know exactly how he is, even in the spiritual and on a spiritual level. Now he presents himself completely different. So when you know present yourself in a particular manner, yeah, we have safe words that he utilizes on a spiritual sense and even in telepathy. So it's one of those. Okay, I know you not. It's one of those. He wouldn't say no shit like that to me. Tell me no. He understands that it be stuff that be going on. So I don't know who the fuck this asshole is. But you're about to get fucked up. Yep. And I don't care who you are. You little shit. You talking shit to me for no damn reason. I'll beat your ass. I was hearing all kind of stuff though, man. Oh my goodness. I was hearing, and it was amplified because I was in the actual space that it would have been taking place in. And when I say the actual space, the actual state, because it wasn't necessarily in that space that it in that city. It was, uh, I, yeah, I kept hearing Savannah. I kept hearing Savannah. I'm like, what the fuck is it? I like Savannah because at one point I did notice that they have an opera house there, and I wanted to treat myself like a quote unquote privileged lady would. And have my pretty dress and my gloves and the little mask and go to the opera and stay at the bed and breakfast, and yeah, I wanted to have the whole experience of being an actual being fulfilling a dream, more than likely from the lifetime of when I was a Southern Belle, right? So I was looking at that. Then to find out, like later on down the line, or not even later on down the line, because when I had first got there, what was being talked about was some girl being upset about somebody girlfriend coming and fight her and all this other stuff. And I'm thinking, you've been talking about that this whole trip. You mean to tell me you ain't prepared yourself for nothing? All you got is finances. You tripping. You need a hell of a lot more than money to bail you out of jail, because this is the weekend. But yeah, they will give you a weekend special just on GP. You'll be waiting all motherfucking week until the next week just to be seen, right? Um, But yeah, that's what she was saying. It's like, ain't nobody finna go. I was like, that is ridiculous. Too many people are playing games. And then I heard a few different names when I first got there. And I was like, that's unnecessary. It's like, damn, how many of them are there? And yeah, what relevance and what reason do you have to be around me when you can't even come to me yourself and talk to me? You can't say and claim on a spiritual level that you would need help. Yeah, because before following the chain of events, it was a person stating, oh, they needed this particular contract or they needed that contract. And it's one of those, okay, if you really needed that contract, if you really felt that you needed that particular opportunity, I heard you should have showed your ass up. They should have showed their ass up, and they should have had their bells and whistles on, and they should have been on a biggest, on a best professional aspect. This is where people fuck up, young people and older people as well. This is where they fuck up. I will say I was kind of, I don't know if I want to use the word charmed or what, but yeah, because I'm trying to keep it in the highest vibration. Because somebody stated that they want to have fun with me, and I was like, okay, I don't have that kind of fun, sweetheart. The other thing was that was coming to me is the song "I Smoke, I Drink, I'm supposed to stop, but I can't. Hey, I'm a dog. I love hoes, and I'm addicted to money, cars, and clothes. Do it big, then. Cha, cha. Now here's the deal that comes into place with it. I know one of the major concerns that it would appear, and it's not just on one table that I've seen this. It's been on multiple tables. First and foremost, in the healing process, when a person is self medicating, the purpose of uh, counteracting a lot of and alchemicalizing a lot of the essence is so that you don't have to self medicate as much. That's part one. Part two, you could be like me. I like smoking. I like smoking cigarettes. I don't do it because, yeah, if I don't have one, sometimes I will flip the fuck out. Sometimes. But it's still to the extent where if I don't have one, I know how to calm myself down long enough so that I can and not, just flip the fuck out and shit. So it's that part. The other part of it, when a person will be trying to destiny swap and steal from you, the best time for them to do that kind of shit is when you intoxicated. And the Bible says drink and be merry. So drink is about everything being done in moderation. Realistically, is what that boils down to. Yeah, and if you slowly get off of it or you don't need it as much anymore, okay, you just don't need it as much anymore. Who the fuck is who? Yeah, who are you to stop you from growing and being better and getting healthier, so that you can fix whatever it is that you may have fucked up? You shorten yourself. That's ultimately what that boils down to. That had came to me, I want to say last time I was there, I was like, damn, these motherfuckers shorted me. They shorted me all the way. And when what ended up happening, the way it manifested with me not saying that it was a guy, it was a white dude who came to me and he had asked me for a cigarette and I ain't have enough to, just be giving him none. And the dude, I was smoking it, and then I was like, what, here, just take the rest of it. Now the once I did that, right after that, my headphones broke. My headphones broke, and I noticed that everything started turning around. And I was like, okay, so because I helped you, now all of a sudden it's a problem. So it let me know that there's a difference in what it is that's going on here in Missouri versus what's going on there in Georgia. And maybe even in Tennessee. Y'all went in Tennessee, I seen the fullness of a lust spell. I had not ever seen this motherfucker play out like this. This is why it fucks with me, y'all. Yeah, it was about a good 4 or 5 men who was like licking their tongues out at me and licking their lips. And yeah, it's one of those, sir, I am a wolf just like you. You do not want these problems. Don't do that to yourself. Put your little tongue back in your mouth. It was a few different situations. A lot of it was really talking about with the Tennessee aspect, some past situations that had come into fruition that was other people's dark night of the soul that I was aware of. I heard you already knew. It's a lot of stuff that I know that I don't talk about. I just keep it to myself because if that person, yeah, or a confidentiality agreement, yeah, on the spiritual sense, right? And it's very few people that I can trust to talk, just talk things over with. And when it comes down to it, I really be trying my damnness to make sure that just because your contract is over and expired, unless I have to discuss that situation, I typically try not to. But when with trying to pull me back into that old loop, that's what reopened a lot of they shit, which reminds me of something it is that I gotta make sure I take care of. Yeah, my credit score just went up. I want to keep it that way. I gotta make sure I talk to a couple people. Make sure I talk to a couple people so I can keep it going. And even in that, I've always been the type of person to at least try and pay something on my bills when I had them. Right. Um, if you're having issues with bill pay, LAHEAP, that's always an option. Knowing and checking your resources uh, is really important. What else? Yeah. No, because on that Monday, I didn't find out that they were doing the Dr. King celebration until later on, until after it was all over and shit. And I'm like, okay, well, nobody said anything. There are no signs that's telling you how to get there or none of that. No addresses. It was like he wasn't really being celebrated. It looked like he was, but he wasn't, because everything that he stands for, realistically, in the freedom aspect, is basic human rights and basic human necessities being met. Regardless of whether or not you like that person in that moment, who gives a shit? If the motherfucker is hungry, they need to get something to eat. And depending on the tourist, right? The way I saw it play out was the unhoused wasn't necessarily trying to play on the intelligence of the tourists, but to emphasize, hey, we need some help. Somebody got to speak for us here. Ain't nobody really talking for us. They not really. So, in short, we need help too. Is basically what it boiled down to, and understanding that yes, certain manipulations can come into place with things, but you guard yourself against that, and you may not know what will be going on, because you'll be amazed how many people that had situations like mine, and they would try to tell people, and they'll throw their ass in the insane asylum because they didn't have the verbiage in totality to explain what it is that was happening to them or was going on. And I heard that's why you heard that it is. And yes, I did wear my fluffy socks. I heard, like what it was given when I was packing and everything. I heard, I seen it through one person's eyes, and that must have been an Aquarius. Because typically Aquariuses, I could see through their eyes. But uh, the whole honey, get my super suit and the fluffy socks, I saw that post, but at the same time that I saw it, I heard it from Mahi's voice. Did you make sure you got your fluffy socks? Right? That's what I. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Um, yeah, I like this partnership a lot better than I do the other one. I do. I do. I really, really do. Because he didn't pick. I'm grateful for people who pick up on patterns and who understand certain shit. Like I got her and I did want to cry again because I was crying. Oh, I was crying so hard when I was down there, but I wasn't crying because I was sad in totality. It was one of those, yeah, I went into praise and worship the way that I do it and the way that I've been instructed to do it. And within me doing so, right? Yeah, I was able to see some of the elders. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes. I'm not gonna get super ratchet with it. But get it, get it, get it. Yeah, I seen all them beautiful older ladies in they whites come through. They had they white and they had they little hats. I was like, yes, mama. Yes. Yeah, it was one woman. She was absolutely adorable. She was. She turned around and she saw me and then she nodded her head and I nodded mine back. Yeah, she made me smile. I was blushing so much. Oh, I was blushing. Oh, yeah, my little chocolate self, I turned purple. Yeah, and ultimately though, right? Yeah, it made it easy for me to do my job then. when I know exactly what's coming next, yes, it makes it easier for me to do my job. Go ahead, is like get in, get her done, get out. If you know what the 18 was about, then you'll get where I'm coming from with it. But yeah, so in that regard, I was able to take care of a lot of different situations, and with what it was that took place with the chick with the sex trafficking, it was like, yeah, that's. I noticed she came back to me the next day. Now, when she came back to me the next day, she had on sunglasses, and she told me the exact same story, but instead, this time, she didn't say nothing about the police. She said something about calling her husband on Facebook and all this other shit. I was like, I don't have Facebook. I'm not dealing with Mark Zuckerberg ass. I don't deal with Facebook at all. None whatsoever. Because she wanted me to reach out to her family on Facebook. I'm like, no, ma'am, I'm not doing that. Yeah, it's one of those, I can't do it because I'm not capable of doing it. And I'm not about to set up Facebook just so you can get in touch with your family when it seems like you lying to me right now. Now it seems like you lying and you're trying to play on my intelligence. And you're trying to play on, yeah, my sincerity with what it is I'm doing. Just because you put a few napkins out, or in short, because you put an offering out, you feel like it's okay to lie. No, it is not. No, it is not. None whatsoever. So, there was that portion. The other part of it is, I'm sorry, it's a particular manner in which everything should be conducted. It is. It is. It is. Um, but I did get to see, like, no, I didn't get to see Magic City like all lit up. I would be honest with you, both of the times it was that I went, Magic City wasn't. I don't know if they were open or it probably wasn't even open yet. But I didn't see a whole bunch of activity there either, or on the outside is what I'll say, because I didn't go in. Um, how do I feel about them? I feel like I know a lot of quote unquote ladies of the night. They really have good hearts. So providing them the opportunity to assist the city how they would without them being discriminated against, I think that would be really, really helpful to and with and for them to balance. Yeah, even for themselves, right? The other thing that when I was on my way there, both times I heard, who wants to work for free? Well, no one wants to work for free, but it's a different type of respect that comes when you volunteer. It's a different type of respect, and it's a different amount of blessings that come when you volunteer to do something. In short, those of us who signed up for our mission before birth, got here, and remembered the mission after birth, that veil didn't close for us. AKA, shout out to the golden children, right? By any means necessary, type shit. But yeah. So there was that. The other portion of it that I noticed that kind of came into place was with just the understanding of the layout of the city. Uh, but yeah, cause what one of the things to make it a whole lot easier, um, yeah, I sent the information off to Mahi's already. I gave it to him, so I'm pretty sure he, yeah, from what I've been seeing, he's been pretty good about making sure shit get done. I like that. No, y'all don't understand. Y'all do not understand. You don't understand the difference in then and now. You know, the difference between then and now, yeah, is huge, gargantuan. It is such a relief to, regardless of what it is that will be going on, for me to not have to worry about being pressed by anyone else. Me just being able to come in, do my work, talk to who I need to, and leave. Get that bread, the head, then leave, then leave, then leave. Hey, yeah. Oh no, because of the way that that transmuted was, I already had some bread that I was feeding the birds, and I asked Adams. for some of his lunch meat. So that was the meat. And then when he wasn't feeling well, I laid his head on my thigh until I can get things situated with my purse and create a pillow for him. So yeah, I did alchemize all that. Don't play with you, girl. Don't play with you. I think I went to sleep for all of maybe an hour. All of an hour. But it was I was rewarded, right? With being able to, yeah, it wasn't necessarily a heartbreak in a bad way, but it was, the anticipation or excitement of, we would like to have you, we like to keep you here, which goes into the fostering aspect. And I was talking to, oh, so the biggest and greatest surprise, right, was I hadn't talked to my dance partner, friend, yeah, I don't know, teenage friend, not necessarily childhood, but teenage friend, uh, KK. I was able to see her. And I hadn't seen her in a really long time. And we stayed up for most of the bus trip just talking about everything it was that happened over the years and everything. And it wasn't until I got back and I was looking to let her know that I had made it in safe that I realized that her number didn't get programmed into my phone. And then I was like, why didn't her number get programmed into my phone? And then I had programmed my number into hers, but I didn't get the chance to put her number in my phone. Cause something happened and she couldn't work my phone, so to speak. And yeah, just so you're aware, yes, I did take your picture off. I did, cause I knew it was some fuck shit that was going on, and yeah, we don't need them problems. We don't need them problems. I was talking to my daughter today. I was like, damn, I gotta make sure I put those back. Actually, I'm gonna just get a whole different set of them. Heard you want something for real life, don't you? I do. I do. It's coming out. It's coming, or is it approaching? Because I learned it's a difference. Yeah, it has different effects, so to speak. But in any event, um, yeah, I got to talk to her, and yeah, and it made me realize because that's one of all the biggest questions that come into place whenever I show up to a space. Who prayed? Who prayed for help? Because that definitely be one of the things that'll make me hurry up and get in motion if I have it. Um, and me knowing, right? Yeah, because for me, what it feels like is all of those people who came when I sent the call out, so to speak, to help raise vibrations in St. Louis. Yeah, I feel like it's not too much for me to make that effort to get to their space, to their cities, right? And do my little thing real quick and leave. Hey, and leave. Yeah, do the healing and leave. Ensure what it is to be a traveling nurses, just for your business to have to travel, period. And the travel expenses that'll come into place with that, and the best modes and means of travel for you. But the best modes and means and travel for me are not on a plane. They realistically have not ever been on a plane. That's just what everybody, yeah, that's supposed to be the luxury of it. But when I sat down and really understood what my mission details was, it was like, okay, me being on a plane ain't very smart for me to do it all, unless it's a private one. But yeah, taking a bus actually works pretty good. Excuse me, for me. Can't necessarily say how well it will work for somebody else, but for me, it works perfectly. And then cause me and KK, we both caught ourselves doing it, checking, make sure everybody was on the bus. All right, everybody on the bus. Ain't nobody sick or nothing. Okay, cool. All right, we're good. I can relax now. Right? Yeah, cause it ain't nothing like being in a state of complete calm and relax, and then you have to hurry up and get in position, get ready. It's just, trust me, it's not fun. Um, so it was that. But no, it was basically the train of how everything was going was I was crying in my worship aspect, and doing my thing, and then I saw the pub. I want to say she was a police chief. She was a sergeant or a lieutenant. I think her bars indicated being a lieutenant though, a lieutenant or a captain. Yeah, because she had three of them. I don't know how it works for police, but she came. She walked up. I was like, "You motherfucking better get it, bitch." Yeah, I was like in my head, I was celebrating and everything, just seeing, it was like because to be a woman with any type of y'all say a woman in power, and realistically, women we don't see it as being women in power. I know I don't. I see it as being a woman who is aware of her responsibility and is capable of executing the best plan possible to ensure the safety of everyone involved. That's how I saw it, right? Yeah, and it's without bias. Without bias, that's really important. That whole bias thing, yeah. Um, saw a lot of fetches. Did see a lot of fetches. Heard talk about it for a minute. I seen a dude who he was maybe around like my height, so to speak, but he looked like Jay Z. I was like, Jay Z, why yo? Yeah, because I was thinking, I was like, Jay Z, why your fetch look so little? Why you short? I expected for him to be tall. I seen a dude who looked like Big Bug. I seen a dude who looked like G Herbo. He told me his name was Bono. Um, Let me see who else. I saw a few other people. Those were the ones that were the most noticeable, but that's primarily because of the different spiritual connections. Yeah, part of it is spiritual connections, but that would have come into place with it. And over the course of this past year, I paid attention to those people who didn't fall off and who wasn't on bullshit. They were a part of the solution opposed to a part of the problem. And when I was saying it, I was like, okay, yeah, it was like it's one because one of the things, and not saying he would ever do this, but please don't get upset with me, but I am going to use you as an example. When, regardless of what it is that would have taken place, when I stated that, yeah, he was spirit family, the issue wasn't pressed as to what position he would be in. That did calm me. It calmed me a whole lot because it wasn't one of the, yeah, it's one of those, that's the brethren aspect that comes into place with the Taurus Scorpion axis. It doesn't have to be romantic, right? In a lot of different respects, just being connected to people, period, is a blessing. And yeah, you don't want nobody to violate your boundaries, vice versa. Oh yeah, you welcome. You're very welcome. But yeah, so when I seen him there, and I was like, or when I seen the dude that looked like him, and he had on like 4 or 5 coats, y'all. I was like, okay, so you protected, my nigga. Okay, I got you. I feel you. Just make sure you get a shower and you get to, yeah, because and how to transmute that protection so that you're still safe, regardless of what the weather is outside. That was definitely something that I heard a lot from a lot of unhoused people. It was like, oh my goodness, it was so cold. Why is it so cold tonight? Why is it so cold? Yeah, my bad, y'all. When I get cold, that's what happened. And I'm noticing that that happens in whatever space I'm in. So, you know, that, yeah, to me that's normal. And I was cold. I was. I really, really was. Not only with, reading and interpreting the cards, but I hadn't had any uh red meat for my anemia. So yeah, so it just was what it was. Outside of it though, but get different spots. Yeah, especially if you're a hood dude and you're gonna do it, y'all definitely know the sweet spots in y'all neighborhood. And yeah, because for me, when I did it around St. Louis, typically churches, like Catholic churches, unfortunately, if they haven't did the correct rites, you'll have, I noticed that it was a lot of spirits that were still just roaming around, and I'm not talking about in the physical, uh not the physical, in the tangible aspect, but you could see the dimensional shift, and you could see them kind of like walking around from varying dimensions. I Yeah, I could see them from like about a good five or six of them simultaneously, but the most immediate one would be the ones that would need to be lifted, because as soon as you lift one of them, all of them pretty much, yeah, do what they need to. um but find a sweet spot, grab a stick of sage. That's all you need. Grab a stick of sage, light it, make sure that it, yeah, that the smoke feels, goes up, right? I call them sage bombs. I do. I personally call them sage bombs, because you light the whole stick and you just let that stick just do what it's gonna do, and it's safe, right? Is the clearing aspect, and yeah, it's really really helpful, right? In short, it'll be about the spiritual warrior training it is that you would have gotten, and how it's implemented in the physical aspect. Ain't no point in you learning candle magic if you don't know how to anchor it or in things of that nature. Um, the other thing I heard, did you do it when you was out kicking it too? Yeah, I did it when I was out kicking it. A lot of people didn't notice it though. I always had like, it's a difference between a vitals kit, a bundle, and just, yeah, an emergency kit, right? Like your emergency kit will be something that you carry in your purse. That's your sage, your crystals. If that's, if you don't wear them, right? Your sage, your crystals, and whatever offering it is you would need to make. And I noticed that they didn't have any crossroads there. I felt some type of way about that, because it's like, how am I supposed to make this crossroads offering to this particular space? And it's nothing there. It's nothing there for me to do that. I felt so, yes, I felt disrespected. How am I supposed to do this? This is inappropriate. This is inappropriate. This is serious. Maybe I needed to walk around for a little bit more, but in any event, um, but on the way back, and my friend KK, she had let me know, she was a little concerned because she wasn't sure who she'd be sitting with. But when I seen her, yes, my whole everything lit up, because I'm not used to having a person sit with me on the way there or back. I'm not used to it. Um, but I'm okay. Yeah, but when that happened, I was like, okay, so things are getting better. That makes me happy that things are getting better. And I let her know to tell, uh, yeah, to tell Dorian if she spoke to him. I'm still working. Everything's good. I'm still working, and I can't really talk to a whole bunch of people about a lot if we not on the same path. Yeah, if I don't run into you while I'm out in the world, please know that I do love you and I do appreciate you. But I'm still working. I'm trying to make sure I can uphold what it is that I said that I wanted to do and contribute. And even if it changes later on down the line, I don't care. I want to be able to keep my word, right? Uh, so it was that. But yeah, and then when I got back, my happy-go-lucky ass, right? Yeah, cause I'm a busybody. I can be a busybody. I sure am. I'm okay with that, because I like getting shit done. And for me, uh, I heard something about fighting. I don't fight. I'm too lazy to fight at this point. Yeah, I don't have. I don't. Ain't nobody got time for that. Cause yeah. It's just I heard something about kill shots and all this other stuff. I wouldn't necessarily even say it was that. I don't have the energy to do it like that no more, to no capacity. I'm Even when I was younger, because I almost went to jail for fighting when in my teenage years, and I didn't fight with women. I typically in my adult years have had more fights with men than I have with women. So I don't feel that would be fair to anybody, right? Myself included. And besides, I love myself a little too much to wear myself out because somebody else is mad. Ew, no. Just go have sex. The first thing that I said is like, did you eat anything? Are you thirsty? You gotta be thirsty. Here, let's get you some electrolytes before, because ain't nobody got time for all this. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't. You really want to get cut up so many different times, all because you thirsty. You just need some electrolytes. You need some food. No, we're not doing it. I don't even need to fucking talk to you. Uh, seriously. Yeah, and the other thing is, I'm thinking something must be going on with Twitter because the birds keep coming and delivering messages to me. But when it's all said and done, it don't really matter. I hadn't done my clear my head yet because I had to anchor everything and hear let everybody know. Period. That I had made it back. I really should have. I really should have let Mr. Perry know on Thursday when I first got here. I I think I waited until Friday though, but I should have. Yeah, I know this to be so about myself. I don't have the same concept of time as everyone else does. Yeah, so because and what messed up, right? That concept of time for me was being told 8 damn near 10 years ago we'll connect soon, and it never happened. Not even getting an hour along with that person is saying soon is one of those. No, yeah, I met a whole person with that name before it actually happened, and then all this other craziness kicked the. It was just too much. It was too much. It was too much. So that's one of the contributing factors that distorted what time is to within for me. The other thing that distorted time to within for me is with my clock, right? For a while, it like when I was working at Delmar Gardens, just out of nowhere, it jumped ahead 4 minutes, and it 4 minutes exactly, and I was like, okay, and it never, even when I got different devices, it didn't go back. It stayed like that 4 minutes ahead, and then uh more up to date when I was working out of my storage unit, it jumped from 4 minutes to like, yeah, in different increments, but it stopped at 37 minutes. So I don't know exactly what it is that would mean. Yeah, now because in military time, I want to say 37 comes to like 80 or yeah, a 60 or 70 or something like that. So that would be something to pay attention to. I'm assuming. Um, would it be coordinates? I don't think it. I don't know. In that regard, I don't know if it will be coordinates. If you're thinking it's in coordinates, you may want to pay that some attention. Yeah, so the numbers that will be read off, pay attention to what those coordinates will be in your particular location while you're watching the readings, if that's what you're watching for. Um, yeah, I know I'm gonna do some readings. I'll do them next week though. I'm still anchoring a lot of stuff to it, and for my oldest girl, yeah, one of the things I had to tell her, right, is just because you had a baby doesn't mean that you don't need help anymore. And I don't mean that you're gonna be left out in the cold. You need to be just as protected after you've had that child as you would have been, yeah, beforehand. It's the same, right? Women's History Month. Okay, it must be something dealing in regards to Women's History Month. Okay, but Women's Her Story Month, right? Uh, I heard talk about that for a minute for me. I liked it. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the presentation because it's a difference between stating that you love the ladies versus you lusting for the ladies. And love doesn't always have to be the physical aspect. Sometimes it's just the acknowledgement of the good works that would be done. So yeah, and I seen it, and I was kind of nervous at first. I was like, oh my goodness, what the hell's going to happen? Lord, are we finna go through it? No, because I was thinking it didn't trigger me, but it did look familiar because I've seen like that intention formulated before, right? Yeah, the whole Jesus and the disciples situations that will be going on, and it's like, okay, yeah, but if you take that narrative and you apply it to your life, that means you are applying having a motherfucker around you who can't control their temper. You have another motherfucker around you who just lie for no damn reason, and then you got yeah, but then on that side, but those be the ones that really, and then those be the main ones that get brought up and fed a lot of essence. You don't get a whole bunch of people who talk about Luke or Mark or Matthew. Yeah, the other people who are, who stayed in the highest vibration, or even Mary or Andrew. You don't hear about those stories. All those stories get shunned because everybody want to be on the road to Damascus, and it's one of those. Most of you motherfuckers was too damn broke to even put yourself in the same category as Saul slash Paul. You weren't at that high of a ranking, and you claiming it to any capacity that you're at that high of a ranking, and you don't even care to have that understanding. It's one of those, just a cease of several. Just stop. Yeah, because you're not really acknowledging who you are and what your purpose really is. You're trying to identify with something because it's popular, not identifying with something because that's genuinely who you are. That's why I personally don't like, yeah, I can't stand titles. Lord, I can't stand titles. I really, really can't. I ain't never been big on them. Yeah, after relationship or otherwise, after you let a motherfucker get married on you while you pregnant, I bet you'll take it. You'll look at shit a little bit different after that, right? Yeah, and it was under the guise of them pursuing their dream, not pursuing their fantasy, pursuing their dream of being, a creative long term, not their fantasy of bedding other cultures and races. Do with that what you will. Um, I said, thank you for talking about this, baby. I appreciate it. You was, oh my God, you so sweet. You welcome. So sweet. Oh, gonna have me blushing and it's hot outside. I can't. It's too much. It's too sexy. It's too sexy. It's too sexy. It's too sexy. It's too much. It's too sexy. But yeah, so it's that part. The other parts of it though, I have a lot more pictures it is that I gotta post. And I do have to consult with spirit because right now spirit won't allow for me to do what's necessary. Uh yeah, that is part of the reason why a lot of people getting fucked up because I can't operate to the capacity that spirit wants me to with doing what it is that I'm supposed to do. And y'all in short, y'all can piss them off if you want to. I'm not going to. They told me to just do what yeah, just do what I'm supposed to. I already know what I'm supposed to do. They ain't got to keep telling me over and over. I will gain their trust. I appreciate it. I ain't gonna break their trust. I had the opportunity to talk, yeah, to gift the gab talk shit, right? Professional shit talker. Uh, but I had the opportunity to talk to a few different people and saw the Scarface. Saw a Scarface shirt. I didn't get to take pictures of them, but saw the Scarface shirt and I was like, "Yep, that's me all day and night long." Favorite line out of that whole fucking movie is when old dude get in the helicopter situation and he was like, "I never liked him. I tell you, I never liked him. All I have in this world is my boss and my word. And I don't break on for nobody." Now here's the deal that comes into place, even with uh the morality that comes into place with it. With him telling him right off the bat, he don't break his word for nobody. He had already told dude, no women, no children. He had already told him that. So regardless of what the fuck it was that was going on, yeah, he said no women and children. And you gotta respect it. Now the problem that comes into place with that is how it is that women have can or will maneuver and knowing that that would be a part of something and that's where hands and guns, arms, get bisexual. you know, yeah, because at one point there would have been a protective factor and then it's not. So it is what it is. And in that regard, uh, why everything, even on a spiritual sense, would be handled by by case basis, so to speak. Um, but yeah, I seen that, and then Adams, right? He was wearing Muhammad Ali. He was wearing a Muhammad Ali shirt, and I did see a person who looked like one of my old coworkers at Muhammad Islamic Academy, Mr. Muhammad. And I was like, you look like somebody I used to work with. That's all. Yeah, no, like my thing is a lot of people feel some type of way about me after I've left. And I would have known that they would have felt some type of way about me while I'm there. That'd be the reason why, yeah, I don't like pushing boundaries. You don't like me, cool. I'm not upset with you for not liking me. But since you don't like me, I don't think it's a good idea for me to be around you a lot. Because then you'll start nitpicking at me and doing a whole bunch of other stuff. And why do we have to do that? We're adults. No one has to do none of that. We're just leave well enough alone. Um, but yeah, outside of that though, some of it might come out during the readings, but basically, uh, find what the sweet spot is. Grab all you need is a stick of sage, light it, yeah, and just let it burn in that space. That's what the whole Usher Raymond let it burn. If that had been coming up a whole lot, yeah, because just the same way as questions would be asked to me, it'll facilitate back to you what the answer is, right? A lot of people just, yeah, you could tell who was the type who you had to tell the answer to versus those people who just, yeah, who would just intuitively know. And that's the reason again, which loops back to my disappointment with the spiritualists and some of these aspects. You want to do the whole, yeah, destiny swapping and all this other shit, but you're not even equipped for your own destiny, let alone somebody else's. You get what I'm saying? So it's that. Uh, but yeah, so I ended up doing that, and then I would play the healing tone that would be associated with it. It's actually a few of them. The one that I gave Saints, um, that was the one that I utilized in a few different places. Um, but that helps. Um, as well as like clearing negative energy and stuff. Uh, I heard, what if I smoke a blunt while I'm doing it? Do what you got to do, player. I'm not telling you don't do that because if you are an empath, with the conversations I've been having more so over the course of this past year with her new allies, yeah, with the newer allies, they were realistically open to taking notes on the fact on some of the factors being that a lot of times uh having sex with a lot of people, right? It'll be because you're an empath and you could feel that they're attracted to you that way, and you would act on it. Initially, that's one way that it comes into place. The other one would be, if there's trauma associated. We're not going to, yeah, say that it's always trauma based or trauma associated because sex is something that is human nature. Yeah, it's natural for us to be curious about it. There are different levels and things of that nature to it as well. But also in America, for whatever reason, and I don't understand why the fuck that is, but America is really prude about it. They're really, really prude about it. The other thing was though, that I noticed that kept coming up about basically interracial dating. I'll be honest, I've already interracially dated. I don't know how many times I have to fucking say this, but I can't be with nobody who has self hatred. Meaning, yeah, if you talking down about, the women of your ethnicity and of your culture, I'm not gonna want to fuck with you. Go on some damn word. And I don't mean, like in the creative aspect or for role playing and entertainment. No, I mean like in real life. It was a couple. Her say what she has. It was a couple white guys who basically, they was like, I've tried dating white women. They're too whiny. It's one of those, and they too bossy and they too demanding. And I'm thinking that's not a white woman thing. That's a woman thing. Period. And yeah, it's an attempt to play on the heartstrings for selectivism, and that in itself is a form of racism, systematic oppression. Yeah, so even with that, and all I keep thinking, yeah, because when I be looking at it, I be like, damn, ain't your mama white? What? What do you mean? What are you talking about? You don't like? Do you have a problem with your mom? I mean, what? In any event, but no, I typically don't like dating outside of my race because I could see past what it is that they really are trying to say, and I've already been able to read that. And in addition to that, with the twin flame dynamics, one of the things that came into place with the twin, quote unquote, twin flame journey is it was always supposed to be one person of one ethnicity and another person of another ethnicity. Now, with certain couples, as they develop, it wasn't unconditional love, and a lot of the karmic essences were pulling in with trying to make a person have a particular type of sexuality or whatever, what have you. It's one of those. Yeah, I'm the worst person to try to do that shit on. I am, because if I've already made my mind up, I don't have to tell you that I made my mind up first and foremost, and second off, I don't have to. Yeah, I don't have to do a check in every 5 damn minutes with whoever just because they want to steal my essence, however the fuck it is that comes into place. So with me knowing that that's something that happens and have actually experienced it, right, on several different levels, having to combat against it, it's like y'all, yeah, people be doing too damn much for me. They really, really do, and it's very annoying. It really is because the whole world is. We have a lot of this stuff could have been avoided had things been done right, and people, the actual people who were assigned their task, had been given what it is that they needed. That's the real reason why we having this massive split in realities and a shift in consciousness, so much so to where it's hurting people to have this shift in consciousness because they would have gotten inclination that they needed to do so long before fucking COVID, for real, but they just didn't want to. So there's that. But yeah, oh my goodness, I've been talking for a minute, y'all. My bad. Um, her no, keep going. Okay, but yeah, for the most part though, I just looked at a lot of different situations that have been going on, and it's like it's a lot of simple solutions, uh, especially when they're implemented, that can shift vibrations and allow for every person to get into whatever their path and purpose is, right? And the sad portion of it is, at some point along your journey, you do have to be without, because you have to understand that it's not even necessarily about getting it out the mud, but it's the appreciation for what for ancestral portion, right? Hunting, a lot of people like to call some of the things survival mode. It's not necessarily a survival mode. That's a primitive instinct that comes with, yeah, consumerism, right? Like when within consumerism, when you get hungry and you sit on the couch, well, you go hunting when you go get some food out of the refrigerator. It's the same principle, and it's to better understand uh, how it was your ancestors, predecessors, whatever, what have you, how it is that they got things done, so you can empathize more later on down the line. One of the things that happened to me when I was in the trenches more than a few years ago was I had to go get water from someone else's home. And it made me realize and empathize and be able to tap into that part of me where over in Africa they have to have wells. You know what I'm saying? They don't even have wells that would be built in those particular spaces. Ace of Cups. Yeah, that would be like the Ace of Cups shit that they should have been doing, opposed to Ace of Cups attacking a person because they love themselves. I'm gonna need y'all to get y'all shit together. And damn sure don't do that shit with me. Yeah, I'm not. I'm trying. I'm trying real hard. I'm trying real hard right now. But yeah, for the most part though, and being able to, I was really happy to be able to handle everything it is that I've been able to handle. I am. I will go ahead and put it out there. When any person makes an inappropriate statement towards me, I yeah, if it's not welcomed, and a lot of times I would have already told the person whether or not that type of conversation is welcome um, from them. If they don't, or something about ghosting with purpose. No, no, the ghosting with purpose, that's something completely different. Yeah, ghosting with purpose is realistically, it's not even a person really ghosting someone. It's somebody who having to do what it is they have to do when you're not in alignment with what it is they have to do. Because to some capacity or another, you've shown that you on some bullshit, and you will sabotage what it is that that person will have go on. And a lot of people don't like to acknowledge that they would be the saboteur, but it's one of those, you playing your part, you the saboteur, but also understand just as much of a saboteur as you can be. Yeah, you can be an uplifting person, and a lot of people don't really get that it's okay for you to remove yourself from the situation opposed to being a fucking leech. I be sitting back and looking at some of that stuff, I'll be like, oh my god, really, that's how y'all do each other? Ew, no wonder why I don't fit into a lot of different places and spaces because I'm not like that. Like, even a little bit. Even a little bit. Um, but yeah, other than that though, um, I think that's it. When I do the readings and stuff, I'm not gonna do none tomorrow. I'm going to church with my oldest girl. Show her where it is that I got some strength, and to show, yeah, that side of my spirit family so they can meet my kids, um, and things of that nature. The other thing is, even in regards to that, this is where you'll get so many people on the theological aspect and then the spiritual aspect. The temple is supposed to be open to anyone, not just those people who practice the same as you. That's, I know, one of the reasons why I haven't been to a mosque, uh, because it's limited. It is. It's really, really limited, and I can't really. And is not only is it limited, but it requires commitment before. Yeah, it requires a commitment and dedication before you can even enter those doors. And it's one of those. I have all of those things, but it's not to exactly what you believe in. So yeah, but yeah, because I don't have a problem with Baptists or nobody really. It's just more for real, for real. I cried out for sanctuary, and within me crying out for sanctuary, I went to a mosque, wasn't granted sanctuary. I went to a Baptist church, wasn't granted sanctuary. I went to Pentecostal, wasn't granted sanctuary, but I went to the Catholic church, and they granted sanctuary. In short, a lot of people turn down that blessing, and within them doing so, with being closed minded, yeah, this guy showing them, it say judge not yet lest ye be judged, but you up here judging people left and fucking right, and you missing out on blessings because you yourself aren't at a capacity to just accept, okay, this is what this person has to do in order to learn their lesson. um the other thing is, yeah, I've been basking in the thought of the deities' lives, meaning who they were and what they did when they were alive, opposed to them being dead. A lot of people, yeah, y'all, you damn humans and y'all bloodlust and death lust, it's just ridiculous. Um, it is, it's ridiculous. Um, but yeah. Oh, and necromancers. Hey, yeah, necromancers, y'all know how y'all umbrella falls. Yeah, that's the morticians, people who work with death, period, right? They fall all under that same little umbrella. Yeah, they showed themselves, and I was like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, because you'll be amazed with the experiences that are surround the person, how they would shape them, but that person in its own right, right? Yeah, because the same thing happened with me. That's the other reason why I'm grateful I can be so open to a lot of different situations and experiences. But yeah, trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think it's anything else right now. I'm about to go take a nap because I am definitely tired, and I have to await instructions, and I already talked to God Goddess about everything. Yeah, because when it's true, this is the difference between with this whole situation, right? Yeah, I could tell when it's spell work that's being done for some illusion or bullshit. Like that first time, yeah, it was some spell work being done for some illusion and bullshit. And I was like, you know what? I finally have the opportunity to do this. Let me go ahead and take care of this right now. I'm settled enough and I'm stable enough in a space where I can leave my things, know that my things are safe, know that I'm going to be safe when I come back so I could go handle this business, right? That was what the first time was, right? Talk about it for a minute. Well, it was basically just leading up to all of those readings that was leading up to it. It was like, okay, with all of the different organizations, not, the reason why I don't have a partnership with them any longer, spiritually or otherwise, or any, yeah, why I don't have to do anything, is because they disrespected it and they completely violated and broke the contract in entirety when they didn't anchor it and have me actually there. I wasn't saying that I had to be on their ass because I'm not a micromanaging type of individual, but it was their responsibility to ensure that my physical body had been in front of those other physical bodies at some point or another. And social media let them get lazy and is what got them fucked up. Social media, jealousy, clout chasing, all that is what got them messed up. And I didn't want that to happen. Like, no, y'all don't understand. It was so many different nights where I would have been texting that number, and it was me trying to warn them, look, don't, I know, I already see the way you trying to do it. You really should not do it that way because it's gonna fuck up shit later on down the line. They thought I was playing. I hadn't been given the quote unquote executive order from my higher ups to do anything just yet, but they had already been warned. They was like, "Did you told them?" So when I was, yeah, I told them. I was like, "Okay, well, move to the next step." Okay, that's all I needed to know, is to move to the next step. And when healing rituals like the ones I did for you, somewhat, um, for, yeah, for a few people, yes, I did the way that I did them for you, and that's how I knew that they worked. That's how I knew that they worked, and that whether a person decided to heal or not is a choice, because I saw the way that her, name a couple people if you don't mind. It's okay if you don't want to. I just need an example. Corey Bush, Tashara Jones, the descendants of Alkebulan, for crying out loud. I'm not gonna get into no other ones, but still, you get where I'm going with this, right? Okay. I heard, could you name a couple more? Yeah. Archangel Michael, Gaziel. Let me see. Geronimo. The United States Constitution, for crying out loud. What the hell? That's her. Wow. Yeah. In short, when it was all said and done, my orders don't be what someone else's would be. And when I heard you disobeying orders, I was like, this motherfucker would never say no shit like this to me. He wouldn't say nothing like that because he know that I have to move around right now. Nah, I don't want to believe it. I find it hard to believe that that would be what it is that would go on. But and on that same token, ensuring the safety, even though the quote unquote hood would be shifting and changing, ensure changing the ideal set that comes into place with what a hood is. A hood is a covering. It's supposed to keep your head and your mental safe. Yeah, it's supposed to be the stability or the stabilizing aspect. One thing I will say is the downtown area of Atlanta isn't sundown. It isn't a sundown situation. Yeah, that was something that concerned me too, was staying overnight. I will not lie. I will not lie. It was something that did concern me because it was like, okay, I don't know how things go, and when traveling, it be certain shit that you really shouldn't be doing. And with me trying to do things backwards, and it was like, no, we don't want you to do it backwards. We want you to do it the same way you did it the first time. It's one of those, yeah, with me doing it backwards, it would have been me doing it the same way I did it the first time, but I would have taken an alternate route in order to do the same thing it is that I did the first time. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But yeah, basically say making sure that those key points in whatever space, uh especially when it gets really hot outside, is definitely something that I noticed it works. To do it at those times. Uh yeah, and what else? Clearing negative energy. That's one of the frequencies that I use a lot. I've been listening to quite a few different frequencies to see exactly how it is. If there's anything embedded in it, yeah, because I can hear whenever there's something embedded in anything. That'd be the reason why I watch so many different readers. So shout out to the intuitive. But just to give you a heads up, looking out, yeah, I be looking out for people because I can hear it in y'all videos. Y'all may not be able to hear it, but I'll be able to hear it in your video. Uh, if they would have put something else in it, I also hear it not only in those videos, but I see it in the way it is that they would be. Yeah, because I have a good understanding of how people, uh, their pattern over the years of me watching them. So when I see something switch up, it's like, nah, wait a minute. If it's just a switch up because of like retrogrades and stuff, but we're not in any retrogrades for real. Uh, it's not necessarily stagnant essence. It's just essence that's already, yeah, it's being anchored. So when I see some things that will be going on with different readers that I will watch, and just looking on different tables, it's one of those. Hold on, baby. Yeah, it's one of those. Hold on, baby. Let's let's make sure we get you safe before any of this other shit pop off. Yeah, it's one of those. And I used to do this where I would comment under the person's video, but I stopped doing it. Yeah, because then it would be attack on that person because it started. Oh, she a part of that collective. They're evil, and it's one of those. You didn't think this motherfucker was evil until I said something. Let me just keep this shit on my page. But yeah, I do be looking out for the intuitives and for the readers, on the spiritual sense and in 4D, because yeah, with the delivering of the messages and things of that nature, it's one of those. Yeah, that'll be like the tarot magic aspect that could come into place. And if you really understand the ins and outs of physics, really, so it's that part and how it is. Yeah, the spiritual constitutes as the metaphysical and what the metaphysical really is in application. So, but yeah, so I'm going to seal and close and lock in this particular video. It's my thoughts, whatever it is that you can get out of it and pull out of it, regardless of when it is you land on it. This energy and essence is sealed for you in this particular video, sealed, locked, and closed out in this video. All right. So light and love to y'all. Okay, light and love to y'all. Please make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves, getting your electrolytes, especially with the seasons changing, understanding, yeah, that even in the wintertime, right, whatever your wintertime constitutes says, because technically the summertime for me is the wintertime. I don't like really being out a lot. Yeah, I don't like doing a whole bunch of nothing. Um, but making sure you get your electrolytes, uh, at least eat once a day, especially if you're self-medicating. I just heard, oh, You're like somebody being mad. I don't care about you being mad. Make sure your ass eat. Before you get an attitude about things changing, make sure you get at least one good meal a day, but then you self-medicating. You ain't got to do none of the other stuff. Do it small. Make sure you get one good meal a day. Sit your ass down and eat at a table. Yeah, you ain't got to do it all the time. Just do it every once in a while to settle yourself and calm yourself and reevaluate what it is that you will have go on, right? Um, while I'm talking about eating, I will say that I am definitely enjoying. I am definitely enjoying the translation of, oh, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. I need something to eat. And then putting on this fabulous ensemble to any degree. Yes, I love it. My voluptuous ladies. Y'all been doing that. Y'all have been doing that. Yeah, I don't mind this going out and being repeated a whole lot. It can be sealed, right? But you get where I'm going with that. In short, my kudos and my hats off to everyone, realistically, who's been operating in their higher order uh, manifestation. It's much obliged and it's much appreciated, and I'm proud of you guys just as much as I'm proud of myself. And congrats, grads. Yeah, I'm expecting to see a whole bunch of more graduations coming into place, not only with myself but with others, right? And it makes it easier to digest if you look at it as a graduation opposed to look. Okay, if the only graduation you participated in was your kindergarten one, okay, so that means you get to get all of the graduations now, and can't nobody tell you how to do it. Shit, I don't care. But yeah, even if it is, you get what I'm saying. Whichever graduations it is that you've had, you get to relive that great feeling, and you get to give it to yourself, right? Um, I heard you said all this before too, didn't you? Yeah, it was in one of the videos I did on my fifth dot degree dot burns when it was a whole bunch of gang shit that was going on, and it's like, okay, you saying you own this property, but you're not taking care of it to the capacity that your spirit know you're supposed to take care of it. And it's because of the anger that and hostility that will come with somebody else owning it, so to speak, and all of that. But anyway, um, ultimately, light and love to y'all. Please make sure you get at least one good meal a day, especially if you are self medicating. Make sure you get you something to eat. Make sure you and at least get 4 hours in a day. So serious because you don't want your body to completely. Yeah, because I be feeling it and I be crying. I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with? Oh no. Regardless of who it is, and regardless of whether or not I would truly feel sorry for him, the fact that it affects me is bothersome. I'm so serious. But light and love to y'all, okay? Um, yeah, I'm officially closing and sealing this reading and locking in now, alright? Because, see, remember, light work, it ain't light work. It is not light work. It's not light work. That's why you have to stay light while you work.